Yeah, I will remove all the devices and add them. Oh, wait, it works. Okay, I think it's even too high now. Ты слышал меня? Okay. Yeah, because I want to see which level is sophisticated and not too high, not too low. So if you can, so I'm not like, doing that. Like, something like that, maybe? You don't hear me? I see that you should hear me. So maybe that's because of the delay. Is it too high? Or is it fine? I think it's fine now. Yeah. All right. So, hi everyone online. Thank you for coming. We will start in about 5 to 10 minutes. So please bear with us. We will update the streaming link and then we will start our event. Thank you. Thanks. We should probably put 5:15 because I think it's pretty straight now that we start at 5:15. All right. Hi everyone online. I hope you can hear me clearly, see me clearly. And we might wait 1 or 2 more minutes and then we will start our online and offline event. We have 5 presentations and 4 great speakers today. And I can't wait to start. I'm excited. Are you excited? Yeah! Welcome. Yes, we have more audience. That's great. So we actually waited enough, I guess. And then whoever is late, they will be late. That's all right. So let me just remove the music a bit. Okay, so without further ado, let's start. We're already a little bit over time. So I will not bother you too much. Alex, could you maybe do the recording for me when you have an opportunity? I will give you all that you need. Yes, this one, and I can actually do this for you. Don't let it block. All right. So I will tell you what we will see today, and today we will actually go through, this is my first presentation, so we will have total of 5. And basically I will just have a small introduction so you know what is ITM. And then we go to Lucas, who will be with us online, and we checked and we talked to him already, so we should hear him very clearly and see him very clearly. Then after him we will have Plamena, who is here. And she will talk about Women in Tech Awards. Oh, sorry, Lucas will talk about future of decision making. Then we will hear talk about Women in Tech Awards, right? Then we will hear from Alexander, his involvement in the FinTech Association, cult or not cult. And then I will do a project announce that we recently launched, and that should be our 5 presentations. So let's go right away. Yes, this is our event number 6, and we're trying to, every time we're trying to adjust the format a little bit to see which format works the best. And I was really hopeful that people after Oslo Innovation Week will be a lot of people coming, but apparently everybody is so tired after this exhausting week, and not everybody was able to make it, but that's totally fine. So what is ITM, what we're doing here, what we are seeing in the future? So we want to provide a high quality common ground for all of the tech community and tech industry and beyond it, actually, for everyone who wants to talk on important things on a regular basis. So we're doing it every month, almost. I will tell about that a bit later. As I said already, we're experimenting with different formats, so we're looking forward to making a little bit different format with workshops, hackathons, but this is for the future. We are also hoping that we will organize more events decentralized, so in other cities as well, and have more blockchain and crypto talks in Oslo, because I think there are not enough, as my perspective at least. This community is totally community. This community is community driven. So we are a decentralized community. We are trying to be, at least. We have people from all over the world joining, and this time it's the first session online. Before we haven't tried it. So we will see. And we also provide networking, of course, after the event, and maybe sometimes during the event as well. And we have to follow what is happening in the world. It's changing so quickly. So as a very, very far-fetched future, or maybe medium-fetched future if we're lucky, we want to make a framework that will work as a basis for the city of the future. So for that, we need small puzzle pieces, and this event and similar like it are the small puzzle pieces we need to build it together. So we have a couple of the links to our different communities. If you are not part of them and you use some of these platforms, please do join. We do annonces of our events, and in the future we might have more content when we have more volunteers. We also have our nice YouTube stream that is going over there. And basically, yeah, that's on our website. You can check all our streams, all our history, all the presentations, everything open source, actually public domain. So you can download it, use it, reuse it, recycle, and so on and so forth. Yes, and we need a lot of volunteers, so people like you who are coming and telling their stories, like who are speakers or helping with some of the tasks that we need, or reposting or sharing it with your friends, and so on and so forth. And we would be really glad if you could help, and please just go to the website. All of the URLs on the website are pretty self-explanatory, so you could just go there and see if you can help. For instance, we need people who make photographs, videos, info articles, partners, collaboration, and so on and so forth. So we need a lot of help from a lot of people. But we already have some help, yes. You need my help, yes. That is all right. Thank you. I will just do this quickly for you. Here you go. Yes, and our partners. First of all, this awesome venue, Rebel. Thank you a lot. Thanks a lot for providing us this space where we can get our streaming. Also, thanks to Norwegian Unix user group for providing our some of the streaming equipment, and to other partners like FinTech Association and our media partners. That's awesome to have you guys to provide us some help to us, and we hope to see you further in the future. And this is the structure. This is the past events that we had already. These two we skipped because we realized that a lot of people are out of Norway. This is very normal for the summer. If you've been to Oslo, you probably know that. And then we are restarting. So since now, we will also have 6 planned events. And we actually wanted to discuss if we should do a little bit earlier or a little bit later, but I think we are mostly leaning to making it on the last week. So it's probably going to be last week every time. We will see. We will, of course, update all the socials, all the links when the day comes with all the information about our further speakers. Yes, and basically, speaking about the format change, we wanted to know if anyone here would be interested if I make this presentation a little bit longer, like 2, 3, 4 extra minutes. And then with these 4 extra minutes, I will provide some tech news. I haven't done yet. Is there anybody who thinks this format would be interesting? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so half or more than half of the people. So yes, we will try this. I think I will try this next time, and we will see how this is going. So this will be short news, the most important tech news, basically. So like 3, 4, 5 maybe announcements about the industry in general. So that's what we're gonna try and see if people are, maybe we can grab more attention online with this. All right. And I'm really hopeful, yes, that discharged microphones never not gonna do the same again with the second one. But we have 3 more, so it's okay. Yes, and yeah, about our socials. So here are some links again. It's pretty straightforward. We try to make it convenient for everyone to use our socials. Yeah, that's basically it. And I want to thank again all of our volunteers and all of our speakers that gonna talk today later on for your help. And we hope to see more people. It sounds a little bit like I'm closing the event, right? So maybe I should put it in the end. So no, we are just starting. So let's go to the second presentation, which is actually Luca's presentation. So for that matter, we would have to wait about 2 minutes, and then we can invite him. So please bear with me. All right, we will just wait for him a little bit. Do you see? Yes, awesome. You see his screen. Eventually, it will become his screen. All right, so how do you feel about Oslo Innovation Week, guys, while we wait? Let's discuss. Networking? Mm-hmm. Somebody else? What's your thought? What's your thoughts? Nice food, nice networking, nice people, inspiration. Yes, totally, totally agree with you. And actually, yeah, then I will talk about my experience. I met quite a lot of people. I actually counted yesterday. I think it was 61 LinkedIn contacts, and I think I added 3 or 4 more. So I think it's pretty good results for like how much it was, like 4 days, 4 days of networking. I think that's a pretty good result. Let's see, where is Lucas? Should we? Yeah. Let me try calling him. I think that would be, he would notice it, right? So, other than 60 contacts, I think I heard about 2 to 3, no, not 2 to 3. Yeah, 2 to 3 presentations every day. That was exciting, actually. And I think that's great, because usually in Oslo, during every week, you might see one event where you can hear 1 or 2 awesome presentations, but this week was full with events. It was 80 events. And probably if we would be like a fully part of Oslo Innovation Week, we could have a bit more online and offline participants, but we work on that for hopefully for the next year. Hello, Lucas. Thank you for joining. Yes, do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you well.
Perfect. So it worked from the first try, so probably something is wrong, but hopefully not. So can you introduce yourself? And it's basically your time, so please just go on.
Thank you anyways. I don't see the crowd or who is there, but first of all, thank you for the invitation and hello. My name is Lucas. I'm joining in from Munich, Germany, and I'm happy to kind of be in the space since, I would say, since 2020. And I happen to be like relatively lucky how I ended up finding good people in the space and the network, because I was basically traveling around and going to crypto events in the bear market. A quick question, can you hear me well?
Perfect. Yes, we do hear you very, very clear.
And perfect, then I will actually quickly share my screen. And of course, I will start from the beginning. Oh, this? Come on. Now all the windows are, yep. And now I want to share the screen. Can you see this? It's actually saying the future of decision making. Yeah.
Yes, we see everything perfectly. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks. So on the right side, there's just a picture of our app. But today I really want to, oops, is that, yeah. Today I really want to talk about the critical role of reputations and also relationships in the internet and in Web3 in this case. So what everyone should usually know is that there are a couple of, let's say, major interactions that we do on the internet. I mean, we are watching something which we would say is an impression. We like stuff, we comment on stuff, we reply on comments, we connect with each other, and we have, let's say, peer-to-peer messages. Yeah? But in many cases, we're really not even allowed to use filters, or we can only use hashtags for filtering. And I would even say we're not allowed to use our brain, because we just have to take what is presented to us for granted. Yeah? And that kind of means we really rely on followers, likes, comments, algorithm details, which we don't know, and metadata that is also not retrievable from those major social media platforms. And there are problems that are created by that, because different opinions rarely appear to us in our newsfeed. Some important details, they're really missing. We don't see, when we see a post, whether this is a guy with expertise in the topic, or whether it's just someone saying, unsolicited FUD. FUD stands for fear, uncertainty, doubt. And yeah, we do have like specific Twitter or crypto terminology too that makes it really hard to understand. Anyways, and then we don't have labels to filter, or insights are quite often hidden. Yeah? And the question is, or the statement I would make is that if we are what we eat, we become what we read. So we really kind of are super susceptible, or it's we are at risk because what we see and what we hear a lot about, we probably also incorporate into our lifestyle or thinking or opinion making and decision making. And if that's biased, then it's a problem. So the social aspects of all these social media platforms, I'm always diving a little bit deeper into that, and I want to make comparisons. And in this case, for today, I just want to even talk about peer-to-peer messaging. And those three are the ones that everyone would probably know about: WhatsApp, Telegram, and Signal. And just to put things into perspective, I want to lay out a little bit how many employees there are, for example. In the case of Telegram, it's only something like 200. Yeah. And Pavel Durov also stated in his last interview with Tucker Carlson, which is something I would like to refer to later again, that they only have 30 engineers, I think, working on the actual app or platform. Maybe more to manage like requests from governments, but that's exactly what I kind of want to talk about as well. Is they must have actually enough money, because the company is estimated at 30 to 40 billion, but they are ignoring, and that's what he said in this call, in this YouTube video with Tucker Carlson, and I will say something about it a little bit later again. But he basically said that he's more afraid of Apple and Google, because they can block his app from the App Store, than actually the US reaching out directly, or maybe Germany or France or any government actor. Just to compare it and put it into perspective as well, we need to look at also their infrastructure. So on the code, so the code is basically partially open source in the case of WhatsApp and Telegram, which basically means not verifiable end-to-end, whether it's a safe protocol or it's a safe platform. Yeah. And there are some privacy features that are, let's say, a little bit better the further we go to the right. Yeah. So WhatsApp has expiring messages, two-step verification, and so on. Telegram adds auto-deleting messages. They only have user-based connections, so it might be hard for you as a to find out who this is, and also for legislators and regulators. And they do have encrypted file storage and stuff like that. And Signal adds a little bit extra to that, so they really have fully end-to-end verifiable, end-to-end encrypted communications. Yeah, so that means there's literally a fully open source repository that helps developers to verify whether it's safe or not. Yeah, and then the question that we have to ask ourselves now, though, again, is where does the freedom of speech end and where does responsibility begin? Because that's basically why they detained Pavel Durov. I also believe that they detained him because he said something like, I am more afraid of Google and Apple than the actual government. That alone, the statement alone, is maybe a little bit what got the things rolling a little bit. And I think it's not a coincidence that directly after this very, very critical YouTube video and YouTube interview from Tucker Carlson. So can we improve these systems? I believe yes, and that's why I'm kind of in this space. We can improve them with more decentralization, and we can improve them with increased transparency. And to quote Albert Einstein here, imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world, stimulating process, giving birth to evolution. So that means we have to go through and go through an evolution of the internet, or we have to change it according to needs. Yeah, and Web3 already claims to add ownership to the internet. So read, write, and own will be is the claim, or is the shortest definition of Web3, let's say. And Web 4 could even incorporate privacy, which then makes it possible to have something called maybe read, write, own, and compute only, which basically means it's adding confidential compute and private AIs, which could also mean the AI is the only one that knows a lot about me, and it's the only one that is allowed to specify and personalize content for me, which makes it a quite interesting claim in general, but then it also holds a little bit of risk. However, the market or the, let's say, infrastructural components for that is steadily growing, and it continued in 2023. So the crypto market cap, the interest in general in social media activity, the amount of new ideas and also developer activity and projects funded and projects actually received funding is also growing at a steady and quite enormous rate, much more than any other industry. And there's opportunities there because those are actually the margins and the revenues that these incumbent Web2 platforms keep for themselves. And that's comparable, or those are Web3 examples and what they end up keeping of the revenue and how much they distribute. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be very hard for them to keep up with this movement if fees are generally like less than 20-30%. Yeah. And that's kind of gonna help to potentially disrupt all of this with Web3 technology and infrastructure. So we do need infrastructure, and we do need communication. We do need to know where to find good content, and we do need to embrace it and also motivate other people to do so. So it begs the question what you can do about it. You can either, that's my opinion, and my advice here is you can follow the right people. You need to choose really wisely where, how, and you invest your time and money. And you should go to places where you can actually ask questions, because at some point you're getting to a point where you have to read stuff over and over and over again to get a little bit of new information. Yeah. And that's why that is my let's say proposal or my advice to go forward and to jump into this. And for example, my favorite sources, or some of my favorite sources, are definitely Anton. He's really unbiased, critical. Mark, he brings it down. He really explains it in a very easy way. And Michael Saylor, of course, I think a lot of people know him. And I think I like him as well because he's got these cool pictures that are somehow appealing to me because it's just funny and entertaining as well. But that's why I like him. And I say this is because, by the way, can you make it a little bit more silent? I hear myself double again. If that's not a problem for you, then I can. Okay, then I'll just keep going. So what I think is important is that you avoid biased sources. And you must have maybe heard it a lot. Bitcoin is a bubble, and there are guys that are saying like three things about Bitcoin that are bad and everything. Those rumors have been thoroughly answered, and the answers are so understandable. Sorry, there's a little bit of a problem with the graphics here. They are so understandable, and they are hard to deny that. For example, we also created a little analysis about the typical rumors, and also instead of just checking social media or listening to what someone's saying, you could verify, because in this case, for example, you could verify that those top 25 holders of Bitcoin in the world, they have added 13.9% to their existing portfolio between March and September. So that was even after the ETF launches. And you can see how much BlackRock, sorry for the graphics, how much they have been adding to their Bitcoin stack, or how much the ETF has been increasing in interest. Let's put it that way. Yeah? So that's verify rather than listening or to what someone's saying. And that's been a little bit of an idea we had in mind for ages, how you could potentially verify things has become a lot harder with AI and maybe fake images. But in this case, it's this list of rumors, how you can actually myth bust the rumor. And you could have on each cell in this table, you could have a comment thread. So if someone would really have an argument against it, I could go there as the owner of the database. I can comment on it instead of deleting it. I could, if it's something I can really stand behind, I think I would have like a system here that I can trust a little bit more than let's say the typical social media platform. And especially if I trust the owner and the author of this content in the first place. And if there are no opposing views, or if it's, let's say, hard to deny or hard to criticize, then this could happen on this platform, because if it's more structured, it can be easier to challenge and it can be easier to agree upon something, for example. And what I believe you should do, or what you could do, is definitely invest time, money, what you have, join ambassador programs, or try to farm airdrops. There's many ways to start and find intrinsic motivation to join the movement, because it can be really, I would just summarize it quickly and say, stressful. So there's ups and downs, and the complexity of this is just definitely something for uh, real enthusiasts, especially through the bear markets. And as I said in the beginning, that's where I kind of met the most interesting people, during bear markets on events. And just because I also like the content that, for example, Michael Saylor has been promoting in Nashville, and because I want to kind of structure this as a keynote speech and tell you what you could do, what I believe is really honestly very good advice is, for example, an individual Bitcoin strategy, the one proposed here. Make Bitcoin your primary reserve asset, convert excess earnings into Bitcoin, subsidize or utilize subsidized credits, invest into tax-efficient entities and domains. So, for example, into Bitcoin, and just hold it. It really depends on your jurisdiction. So sometimes it's really hard to really come up with a very good down the ground advice here. But you could probably do that per country and update the community accordingly if something changes in terms of legislation. Well, what is really a good idea too is don't quit your day job for a good, intrinsically motivating project that you may be working on the side. Yeah. But also, hopefully, nothing stops you when I say this, doing something good. Don't lose your focus, and don't trade with margin and lose your money with leverage trading, because you're kind of, I would say, the follow the fear and greed index is maybe additionally like something I could advise you to do. But then I talk about intrinsic motivation, and that's really like a good slide. I have to mention it. I think also that it has a potential to change also our current, let's say, sometimes controversial world. It's Bitcoin's open and permissionless nature, its transparency, and its decentralizing global aspects really could help countries to be more sovereign, the world to be more egalitarian in general, and then definitely, like, because financial policy is still in the countries and governments' hands. If, for example, just referring to Norway, they still have their own currency, they still have their own central bank. They could still adopt a Bitcoin strategy, whereas I'm in Germany. I'm probably not even going to find any good way to start this at all, because you would have to basically get it through all the European countries at the same time, and that's really going to be hard to coordinate in the first place. Yeah, like whether it's petitions and anything that you need to get the ball rolling. Forget about the EU. What do we want to do actually about this? Yeah, so we want to really drastically improve and speed up decision-making processes for entrepreneurs, buyers, and investors, which could be you in this case, investing in Bitcoin or something else. Disclaimer, I'm an investor in Bitcoin and blah, 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 yeah. But our vision is really like to break up and challenge know-how, data silos, intransparent, centralized decisions, which could include government decisions that they just made that we don't comply with, on a permissionless Web3 software as a service business infrastructure. So we are building, let's say, infrastructure, and we can quickly roll out platforms in Web3. So we're rolling out our own one as well. Why? Because the reputation systems that have been tried they have miserably failed in many cases. The filters are not there, the ones that I need. There are many new players, but still many silos. Some are really great and we could work with them, which includes, for example, Farcaster, a new social media app. And from an economic standpoint and UX, there are still intransparent algorithms, systems, not fully open source, stuff like that. Incentives are broken in many ways, and for monetization of instead of monetizing your time, we really need new ideas to monetize data and maybe the pay-per-use movement rather than the subscription. Having subscription is helping. And in the end, yes, this could help to add more filters, reduce information overload, have more transparent algorithms and terms of usage. Users are not locked in maybe anymore because it's all on the blockchain and you have a wallet and that's your entry and your profile to everything. And you could overcome the broken incentive systems and declining users as well. But that would mean you would have to allow the user or the, let's say, owners, profile owners and users, however, to set up their own incentive systems potentially. So it's always hard to set something up and that will basically live forever. And smart contracts are sometimes not changeable anymore. So in the end of the day, we need infrastructure advancements. We need more filters. We need more new players that are maybe more open in sharing ideas, data, benefits, best practices, and knowledge about decentralized infrastructure. And we need like a little bit more economic and UX improvements, because otherwise there's not enough incentives for people to move, even though Blue Sky is better than Twitter already. And maybe no one has ever heard about it, even in this year. But even though Farcaster is better than Twitter, let's say, it has also been, let's say, criticized a lot because, well, apparently the incentive system was quite, well, too generous in many people's eyes and many investors' eyes. Now it's going back up, and I really believe that platform has a huge future. And that's actually it for me, for my talk. I would be happy to keep in touch. That's a link tree to our, that's a QR code to our link tree if you want to check out more. And then I'm happy to just start the discussion, or yeah, maybe I'll keep this open for now. And thank you for now. And
thank you, Lucas. Do you accept any questions? Can you hear me? Okay. That's probably the thing I was waiting for. Let's try to reconnect, I guess.
Okay. You asking me?
Yes, no. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you, of course.
Okay, okay. Do you accept any questions if we have an audience?
Do you from the audience have any questions?
Yes, that's what I want to ask. Do you guys have any questions to the IPL project? No? Okay. Could you share, I have a question then. Could you share what was like your most important insight while developing your platform? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, good point. So, I mean, insights or let's say decision, because some insight has to lead to a decision. Otherwise, it doesn't really make any. It doesn't help a lot.
It
Yeah,
should be both, I
but
guess. Yeah.
okay, exactly. You call it insight. So some of the most interesting insights has probably been growing in me a lot. But the problem let's say, I saw the most often, even though the platform was adopted already, had users and stuff like that, was that the login and authentication flow and all these, let's say, not user-friendly things in crypto and in Web3 are still a problem to date. Yeah, and when we then also noticed that we would not improve on that aspect, at least, yeah, we even changed and rebuilt the whole bloody platform. So what you can access now even under this link tree, and if you go to test the app, is basically an old beta from April 2024. Yeah, because in hindsight, we're building version 2, and the benefits of it are maybe not so easy to understand, but it's definitely directly in this login flow, user verification, and so on. Because in our case, it would be good to have public content that you do not need to even log in to see, because it's advertising. Every database and every blog article is in a way a little bit advertising, and just because we're making blogs, newsletters, and content and information in tables doesn't make it any different. Yeah. So all of these tabular environments need to be maybe even publicly viewable. Maybe they need to even appear when you search through Google. Yeah. And that kind of made it extremely important, but also super hard to build something and find stuff that can help us to overcome these entry barriers.
Yep, I got you. Thanks a lot, Lucas. We will proceed forwards, and we hope to hear from you again. And yep, please, can we give an applause to Lucas?
Anyways, yeah.
Thank you. Okay, see you. Bye.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Yeah, so now back to our physical environment, right? Maybe add a little bit more light. Let's continue. By the way, do you feel, guys, that do you need a pause, or do you feel good and you want to continue? Okay, let's continue right away. So we have Plamena here with us with her speech about wins and failures. So please, I charged this microphone, so it should be good for all evening.
Thank you very much. Wow. I don't know how to top up the previous presentation, though. So thank you very much for having me. Thank you. And for actually having me in Oslo as well. It's my second time being in Norway, so I'm very excited about it. I managed to put some time aside so I can explore tomorrow. But yes, I'm a co-founder of Wonder Coders and also Nordic Women in Tech Awards. And I have to say that this is something that I definitely do aside. It's like a hobby, definitely not a full-time job. I work as an IT solution architect at a corporate company, so I'm dealing with a lot of tech stuff during the working days. But also, I am very passionate about technology itself, but I'm also passionate about people, and I'm also passionate about entrepreneurship. So I'm trying to combine it all and do a lot of interesting and creative things. So I was 15 when I actually started my very first company. and don't expect it was something big. I was just, I'm 90s person, so I was very passionate about hip hop culture at the time. So I thought, there's no hip hop shops around in the area, so I should definitely open one. Not that I had any money for it, but I went to my parents and I said, listen, I want to do it. And my mom at the time, she was already an entrepreneur, so she gave me a little bit of a capital. So I started the company and I had it for about 20 years. And I loved it. I loved this creativity and the spirit and the drive and just doing something different, something that is outstanding, something that is innovative, sometimes even weird. I like it when I kind of stand out. But everything comes with ups and downs, right? And for me, I wanted just to get a taste of entrepreneurship, starting companies, going into startups, deep tech, fintech. I have tried it almost all. And I keep trying, to be honest, even though I have the full-time job aside. It's just because you fail, then you get a full-time job, then you start again. You try again until you actually find the thing that you really want to do the most. So this is where I am now. And let me see if I can get it to work. Do I have to press again? All right, here we go. I work with a lot of slides like that, so that don't expect that we're going to talk too deep into technology. I want to really focus on failures and successes when you get into the world of either tech entrepreneurship or tech in general. I feel like sometimes we don't have the courage, even if we have like super great idea, and we are lacking the courage just to get it going, to develop it further, to try out and see whether it's going to work or not. So I had a lot of cases where people will come to me and say, it's going to take too much time, it's not going to work. They start actually throwing their fears on you, and you absorb it, and you're like, you get a lot of doubts, and you're missing this kind of drive that you had at the beginning when you had the idea. So I started trying to surround myself with the people that had the same interest and the same drive. And let's see. Can we make it work? So whenever they come to me and they tell me this is not going to work, this is it sounds surreal, the market doesn't work this way, then I go back to this quote and I was like, no, I'm going to give it a try. Even though I fail, I'm going to give it a try no matter what. And so what you see here is on the left-hand side is actually where I started. So you can see where you see the sign welcome. This is actually my mother's shop, and right next to her shop was my shop. And that was actually the hip hop shop that I started in 2004. She gave me, because this I don't want to say venue, but it was an office space, or it was, I would even say like a place where she would just store any toys that she cannot sell, or any garbage she can throw, that it will be there. So she was actually owning it, and I was like, okay, you know what, I can use it to do something for myself. So this is where my very first my own company started. And then I left my hometown. I'm originally from Eastern Europe. I left my hometown and I went to Denmark. And moving to Denmark, it was like going from one world to moving to a completely different world, because I don't know if you have been to Eastern Europe, but most of the time you end up in a completely different experience, way of working, way of thinking, mentality, and so on. So it wasn't as easy as I would open a shop here to go to Denmark and open a shop there. I got into tech. I started my master's degree in Denmark because I thought I'm passionate about technology, so I'm going to study computer science, and then I'll try and build something amazing with all the things that I learn. And then it was like a stone falling on you. It's like, no, you're not allowed to dream here. Think of something else. Maybe get a job full-time somewhere else. But I graduated, I was unemployed for some time, and 2 months into unemployment after graduating university, I was like, I can't just stay home and do nothing. I need to do something. So I started developing my own site, and then I met amazing people through meetups like that, actually, that were also passionate about technology, web development, building websites, platforms, CMS systems, and all that. So we came up with the idea that we're going to start a web development company where we're going to build MVP products for startups. So they have something to use when they go for funding. Great idea. Failure. Why it failed? We did a really amazing job. We had multiple startups. We worked with a lot of companies from incubators, accelerators on the idea and all that. But then it's not something that you do on your own. You're constantly surrounded with people, and you count on your team. You count on the job that they need to do, and they're expected to do. So one of the key learnings for me and why this failed was simply because I didn't have the right team with me, or behind my back, actually. So this was a failure, but I didn't really take it as a failure, because for me, no matter what you do, you learn from it. I was in the entrepreneurship world, trying to build a startup from scratch. I was in the IT world working as a front-end developer, then back-end developer, then I moved into IT consultancy, from IT consultancy, IT project management, from IT project management, solution architecture, and this is how my life has been most of the time. So first I thought, is this something wrong with me? Why am I always ending in situations where I'm the minority in the group? Is it because I think differently? Is it because I act differently? Is it because I chose something that is really not interesting for women to be part of? And then I started researching and trying to find out what makes it so that the IT industry was not so diverse. So I started diving deeper into that, because for me, I have always been in love with technology. And where I come from, we were 50-50, the ratio when it comes to women and men attending either tech programs or working within technology. So something was happening actually in the Nordics, and I needed to figure out what's going on. So I started diving deeper, and I'm not going to say that I've had very bad experiences, because if I had really bad experiences, I would have dropped technology, that's for sure. But it was more about the why. Because I felt like, and I know for sure, that technology is the future, and I believe strongly that each and every one of us should be part of it, whether it's just understanding how technology works so you can build your company, or so you can talk to your tech teams, whether it's you having a great idea and you want to further develop it, but you don't know which technology to use in order for you to be able to develop it. I felt like we just need to understand what it is and how it works. It doesn't mean that all of us have to be like software developers, or all of us should be solution architects. It was purely because we need to understand what it is in order for us to keep developing, because the future develops, right? And technology is here to stay. That's for sure. And I keep getting comments from like my parents that don't understand technology, and this is my biggest pain. They have never used a computer in their lives, and they still don't want to use computers. But it was my father's comment coming and telling me, oh, all these technologies are taking over our jobs. And I was like, no, they're actually opening new, but you're just staying where you've been before. So you need to develop. I mean, the world is moving forward. You can't stay in one place. So this is why I started diving deeper and trying to understand why we're not that diverse in the tech industry. And I found out that huge part of it, especially here in the Nordics, was the fact that you can do whatever you want. And from one side, this is really good. On the other hand, not really good, because you're not introduced to the importance of technology from early age, which is something that we are in some parts of Europe, not necessarily all. So let's see if we can make it work. There we go. So I started talking to a lot of people, and everyone was telling me, oh, you know what, I have tried to get into computer science program, but this is definitely not for me. I didn't feel like this is my place, and I gave up already on the first semester. I was like, did you actually try to ask for help? Did you try to get into communities like this, for example? Have you tried actually, have you given it a real try before you say it's not for me? And I kept telling people that when you fail, it doesn't mean that this is over for you. It actually has to be your main driver to actually find a way to be curious and find a way to fix things. And this is how actually Nordic Women in Tech Awards was born, because this is what we tried to do. And Nordic Women in Tech Awards is just an initiative of an NGO that is called Wonder Coders. Initially, the NGO, we called it a Wonder Coder simply because we wanted to organize a lot of different events, from IT project management to computer science. It could be programming. We did a lot of, for example, Python, data analytics courses, anything that bridges the gap between business and technology, but also supports women and other minority groups in tech to get into tech. So it was a lot of intro topics, but exciting ones that people can choose from and move ahead in their career in tech. Since 2020, when we organized the very first Nordic Women in Tech Awards, which is an initiative of Wanda Kodas, and the whole idea behind is to celebrate those that have achieved a lot in the tech industry already, but also feature role models for next generations in Nordics. So we do a lot of celebrations, that's for sure, and since 2020, from the 10 people that we were initially, now we are 10,000 in the community, which actually shows how much we needed this community in the Nordics. And again, I know that it says Nordic Women in Tech Awards, but actually the entire initiative is extremely diverse. We have people from all over the world, all different ages. We have men, women, and whoever identifies us. And we try to sit together, network, and listen to each other's experiences. So for example, when you're in a room with 500 people, you try to figure out if you can benefit from networking with someone, whether it's an inspiration you need for your next project, whether it's a support you need with your next project, whatever you need, you'll find it basically here. Through networking, whether it's a mentor, a role model, anything that you need to kind of push you forward in your career. Yes, I think that was pretty much it. We have just some numbers. We have celebrated over 2,600 role models from the Nordics. And this is an old slide, but we are actually closer to 10,000 people now. So this is a huge, huge success for us. Again, 100% volunteer-based, people from all over the Nordics. And we actually have Teddy here in the audience, who is from Women in Tech Norway. There is a collaborator this year. And we have an event happening in Oslo for the very first time. We just started building the community here on 13th of November. So if you're up for it, you're more than welcome to attend. You can be our VIP guest. Now I can say it because there are not that many people here. Yes. It was just, this is just a quote that I really like, and it's simply because, as I said, a lot of people are very much afraid of failing, and I feel like the most important drive for many of us to succeed in our careers is purely actually looking forward and aiming to fail, and be ready to fail in order for us to be able to actually get to a place that we want, and call it a success at the end. So now, I mentioned at the beginning that I have so many kind of passions. So now I have the opportunity to work full-time, get some money, but also be an entrepreneur with Nordic Women in Tech Awards. So I think sometimes you can find a balance when you need it. I think that was it actually from me. I have left a slide with some of our networks. We are called Nordic Women in Tech Awards on all social media, and we are the only Nordic Women in Tech Awards. So it's not going to be that difficult to find us. I think that was it from me.
All right.
If you have any questions, I'm here.
Yes, do we have any questions? And come on, guys. No questions? All right, everybody's shy. Yes, that is correct. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. We hope to see you maybe in our events and also see you on your event as well. Yes, and it's very central, it's a nice location, and you're all welcome, I guess. Okay, so let's continue. I believe the next one, yes, we will have to do a little bit of magic here. We can do this. Yes, please do that. Yes, thank you. So many things to do. Yes, so now let me just quickly bounce here. And Alexander have the next presentation. And he was quite late, but we will allow him to be quite late. So, past. Let's see. All right. Is this the first slide? Yep. All right, sure. Let's see if everything works. But it takes some time to start. Yes. Here we go.
We can start from applause. Thank you. Yeah, and it starts from me because I think it's important to listen from who. If you don't know who is it, you don't interesting, right? I'm Alexander Kvaskov. I have degree in IT. Right now, I'm lecturer of Validator School. We teach people how become validator of blockchains. And DevOps of Y2 Ventures, this fund who invest in blockchain projects. And I just keep run nodes, blockchain nodes for this fund. And of course, I'm president of non-government organization, FinTech Association, and director of Web3 Incubator. You know, Web3 Incubator, it's not official name, it's just for understanding. What does it mean? Because this incubator for FinTech projects with open source and free license. And you know, when you go to some investors and talk, they ask you what kind of project you have. We have FinTech project. Oh, it's interesting and bring money. And ask what kind of FinTech projects. And you say, no, these projects with open source and free license. Stop and hold money. What does
hold their wallets?
Yeah, what does it mean? Everybody can copy it and launch own? Yep. Sorry, you are crazy, guys. We don't interesting. And today I can explain why FinTech. And this sentence, everything is financial technology. This is true because, you know, I can explain it by this slide, but maybe you're interested in my story, my personal story. In 2016, it's not far ago, I was create a memoriality project, memoriality, like memory and reality. And the main goal was transform humanity to digital life form. And you know, we got this is.
You have a laser on your pointer.
Yep. Yes. This guy, lady from my team, and together we keep award from Business Incubator. Because this was a very innovation project, you know, because nobody take goals like this. And I got call from local TV, and they create
like a show?
Video news about my project, you know. And local, not local, federal in Russia, federal newspaper write about my project. And, you know, nobody understand how it possible. And, you know, the most of our project was It's just like research how it's possible. And in 2017, I was at maybe you heard Skolkovo. Skolkovo, this place in Russia, they just tried to copy
Silicon Valley, I guess.
Silicon Valley. And I was there and talk about digital immortality, about my project, and one guy from auditors asked me, what do you need right now if you're going to be transform a human into a digital being right now? And I think if right now I'm digital form, what I really need, I can pay you and you can promise me that you never switch off my computer. or maybe I can't believe you. Maybe when I transform, you can switch off and take my money. What I really need. And I understand that I need digital economy. That's why, digital economy. If we have all our transaction in blockchain, we already have our life in digital. That's why I think about fintech and go to the bank and ask, give me a job. I need to understand what does it mean money, because I want to create fintech, real fintech, digital economy. And I go to Rocket Bank. It was amazing neobank in Russia.
Similar to Revolut, I guess, so people understand.
Yep, the same. Revolut bank, it was the same. And I go to Rocket Bank and said, you are the best neobank that I know. I want to be part of your startup. And as I remember, 2 weeks, they said, no, we don't need you, go out. And I try again, and it exists. And I create Telegram group because I need to have conversation with another people from fintech and try to discuss about fintech and anything about fintech, And just create Telegram group, and this slide Telegram group to non-government organization. And we did it on the conference in St. Petersburg with Dan.
Yeah, I'm on the photo, I guess.
Yep. This is Dan, and this is Leonid Krasner. He's banker with 30 years of experience and create own bank in Russia. And 30 years when you own your bank and people don't stay around of your building and ask, give me my money. It means that you are a nice banker, Yeah, and we create first protocol of our non-government organization and accept articles, charter of our association. And our group was transformed from Telegram group to non-government organization already. And in 2019, we create the incubator for fintech projects. You already know it, Web3 incubator, of association members with open source and free license. For example, Graphene Hub project. If somebody of you knows about Cosmos blockchain, I mean. And Cosmos launched every blockchain from Tendermint framework. And another framework is Graphene, and this every blockchain from Graphene Graphene framework. And different between this ecosystem and this ecosystem, that blockchains from Tendermint frameworks, every can send each other information. What does it mean? They have inter-blockchain communication protocol. They can send tokens from one blockchain to another blockchain to each other blockchains. But Graphene ecosystem doesn't have the same. The standalone blockchains, and they can send it.
Or actually they can, but it's like a temporary fix, or it's like a crunch, so it's not a solution really.
I think the most people, it's impossible for everybody. Okay, and Graphene Hub project can bring IBC to Graphene. We just create like layer between and connect every Graphene project to Graphene Hub and connect Graphene Hub to Cosmos. And every blockchain from Cosmos can send tokens to Graphenes and each other. For example, another project is, in Cosmos, for example, they have delegated proof of stake consensus. What does it mean? It means when you have own tokens, you need to delegate it to any validators. Because we don't have miners like in Bitcoin. We just have nodes and economy, why people launch own nodes and keep run blockchains. In Cosmos, they have only 180 validators, and this is max validators, these parameters of blockchains. Every Cosmos blockchains have own these parameters, but every time it's not big. And the biggest 180 that I know, often it's near 50 or 100. And in Cosmos right now, you need 80,000 tokens to be inside an active set. What does it mean? Outside of this list, you can't take rewards from blockchains for each blocks. And right now you need, no, it's not $500,000, but it's near, and it's so big amounts. If you want to launch your own node, you can't do it because it's so expensive. Yeah, and our project, yeah, it's very nice design. Our project do it. We find that in Cosmos, every Cosmos blockchains, they have interesting form of transaction. It called authorization of redelegate. What does it mean? You can give me permission. Yes, thank you. Give me permission to send transaction redelegate. I can't spend your funds, of course, but I can send transaction redelegate from one validator to another validator. And what I need? I need collect from everybody these permissions, collect, and when I will be ready, and I have this amount, I send only one transaction and relegate from everybody to this validator, and got this validator in active set. Easy. I think in 2 weeks we launch this already. Yeah, and what what in FinTech Association we already have? We have our notes. You can check it here. We have pool of experts like Dan, like me, like other guys, and you can check it here. And we can do everything. We can launch notes. We can do audits for your project, FinTech project, if it's maybe blockchain or smart contracts. And we can do consulting, I think. Yeah, FinTech consulting, yes. You can ask questions and join to FinTech. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, do you guys have any questions?
I don't have a question. I would like to speak later and maybe join. Well, for sure, I want to learn. It's a very cool idea. Congrats.
Yep, thank you. Comments, by the way, guys, comments also appreciated, so that doesn't have to be a question. So if you have any comment, please feel free to take the mic. All right,
Okay.
I can maybe give you one extra question, and this will be the same question actually as I just asked Lucas, if you remember. So during this, I will ask you one question and then I will do one comment. So what was your most important part during this way of becoming where you are now? What's your like insight that you gathered, like the most important thing that you would like to tell to the people?
You. This is true.
That-
You know,
By the way, that wasn't planned like that. Just so you know.
you know, when I talk about Dan with my wife, every time she think that Dan is my true love, you know. Every time, and I say to her that no, it's not love, it's just job, you know.
Oh, it's just a joke. Okay, so let's end this. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's true because you know, all my life I do open source, and I was very poor. I can't make money because you know, open source, it's very difficult to make money from open source. Okay, we know nice examples like Red Hat Linux, yeah, but yeah, Red Hat, yes. But not so much people can do. But you know, for example, you know, we have strange economy because we have a big amount of people like volunteers who do for free, and nobody, like, I mean, governments or scientists count
Involvement for the volunteers.
involvements. Yes, yep. Yes. For example, GDP, ВВП.
Yeah, GDP.
GDP. For example, GDP doesn't count volunteers' works. They haven't this count, and you know. But without volunteers, our life will be very bad, and everybody knows about it. And open source have a big amount of volunteers from all the world, and everybody do very useful things, but without money, you know. And this very difficult situation. And I know about Bitcoin from 2011, but didn't understand it, that this is a way to change the situation, you know, when you can do open source, but what you do, it already can be money. It's amazing situation, you know.
It's a way of cashing out for the volunteer work. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah. And I met Dan in 2013, and he showed me more about blockchain, about decentralized economy, you know, and he is real fan of open source. I think. Yeah.
Thanks
Yeah.
for your kind words.
Yeah, and you know, you show me how I can change my life and do everything more useful, not only for people and humanity, but for me. And it's a very important tool because I never think about myself, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, and right now I can think about myself and think about people and do, you know, win-win, non-zero game, non-zero game. I believe in non-zero game. Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Alexander.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes. So we are coming to the end. I have my last presentation that I will try to make efficient. And yeah, so just about, well, I promised you one comment about the previous situation. So Rocket Bank, right? So we knocked them a couple of times. We also like did some events for them without even them knowing and stuff like that. And then they closed, right? That was a sad story. Actually, a lot of good projects are getting either killed or dying by themselves, or because they don't have an infrastructure. And we hope that this is never going to happen, and the best project will survive, and they will always have an infrastructure. So we will see. Yes. So now to the current presentation. I will first enable this. Yes, and you need to turn it on. Okay, so actually about 10 days ago, maybe a little bit longer, I got an idea. No, let me start from the beginning. This idea has been in my mind for quite a long time. However, it was not like in a proper shape or form. It was just like a very new idea, very fresh. And so I tried to pack it to something real, something that would work, and about 10 days ago or so, I thought, okay, it's enough thinking it through and getting the materials and ideas and so on, and it is probably time to start the project that I really want to work on, because a lot of projects I've worked on recently was somebody else's projects, the projects that I wanted to support, the project that I wanted to grow, or some of my projects that I really wanted to develop, but they weren't like very important. This one is very important. This is something that I think we need as a part of digital economy of the future, Web 4.0 that Lucas mentioned in his slides. Because Web 3 is kind of somewhere here nearby, but what's going to be the next place we go together? So that's, I hope, will be the part of the future. So let me tell about the idea. So BBPM, this is a very draft name. We might change it. Maybe it doesn't sound that nice, but still, it's a cross-platform software that we want to make that will allow for a verifiable, proven, and secure package compilation, building, fetching, delivery, verification, and deployment. So how that would work? Basically, it has a couple of key parts that will allow it to work. So the blockchain itself makes sure that nobody interferes, right? So I won't get to the details for now, but basically this is the basis that we need to make this work. There are also hashes. That's basically checksumming. The hashes help our data to stay incorrupt or non-corrupted. And of course, for this project, it makes sense to allow us to have a different software sources. So we can do the source building automation, like we can build from source and verify the data that it was actually safe and it was the same data that developers used and it was not fiddled with by any external site. So then let's speak about each of the dots a bit more clear. So first of all, blockchain message bus. So the blockchain itself, in many other projects, it's actually used the similar way. So you can call blockchain time server, distributed time server. You can call blockchain a message bus. You can call blockchain DNA, right? We come to a conclusion that blockchain is a DNA. So it's also a DNA. So there's many comparisons that you can make with the DNA, actually, like how the DNA mutates and how it grows. With the blockchain, how it works and how the nodes work and everything. So you can find a lot of comparisons, but for our project, important one is that blockchain can carry messages, and these messages can be verified and they can be secure, and we could know that message 1 and message 2, they are safe and correct. So then we would use a blockchain as a common message bus to deliver messages to users. Also, why that's nice? Because we could allow users to expand by writing a comment about some particular package. And also we can allow user to mark the packages as good or bad and vote on the packages, of course, donate for the packages, and so on and so forth. This project have, of course, modularity in mind, as a lot of open source software does. And it provides API for all its functions and ABI in the future. And basically, we should make a flexible system that could be connected by a lot of things. So, SHA-512, what is it? How does it work? Who created it? Don't worry, I'm not going to speak about it. This is just a joke. I will just skip to the point. How do we use hashes? So you probably either have a concept what hash is or not. So for those of you that don't have a concept of it, probably simplest, like hash is like a footprint. So you can tell by a footprint that there was somebody staying in there, right, in this place. You can average the weight and the size of the food. You can maybe know about the weight and the shape of the organism that was staying, but you cannot know exactly this organism. You cannot remake the DNA from this footstep, but you can remake a lot of stuff. So hash is sort of similar. So you take a data and you do some mathematical functions to it, and then you get a shorter hash, but you can use this hash to verify. So basically, like with footprints, you take two footprints and then you compare, and then you can tell if this is the same food at the same time or not. So it's kind of similar concept. Okay, so we will use hashes to create a data snapshot or a footprint of couple of things. So first of all, we can take open source source code, and we can also take closed source source code, or we can even take mixed source code. Make a hash of it. Of course, we can also use provided packages. So let's say we already have a working executable file, and we can use it. And then make it a hash of it. So also we can, when we make a hash of the source, and then we make a build, and then we make a hash of the resulting binary. So this is the process how you build the software, right? You have a source code, you compile it, you get a binary. So it's like three things, like one process and two steps. So you get input file, you get output file. Input file is your source code, output file is your binary. So we get a hash of both, and then through the blockchain with hashing, we can actually make a link. So we can write in the block connection between our source code and the binary. And as far as I know, nobody did that yet. So, and this is very strange because in, let's say, enterprise environment, this is often a requirement of a security audit. Let's say, like I work in MasterCard, so we deliver software to our environment platforms, and also other developers deliver software to their own environments. And they need to know that this delivered software was safe. We do it by different ways, but this would automate everything and make it so much simpler, quicker, and cheaper. Yes, so we can basically verify the origin of the source code. We can check through the hash. We can check which was the last version, or through the name of the package in particular. We can theoretically check for the safety if that has a marks in the blockchain about safety, or if we have a mechanism to check it, then we can verify the safety to some extent, of course, not totally, but. And when we have these special labels like buggy software or virus that we can put on the software that we checked and it is unsafe. For instance, we can connect this through the API with the VirusTotal website, and then if VirusTotal returns bad results, we might have a problem, a virus or something like that, and then we could save this record in the blockchain or even link to the VirusTotal database. All right, so which extra benefits this project gives you? It helps devs to deploy the code in a safe manner. As I already told you, enterprise needs that a lot. Developers want this a lot as well. So it makes life of not only developer easier, but also package maintainer. And I'm a package maintainer in Arch Linux community, and I maintain not a lot, but a couple of packages. And it's a tedious work because let's say I have 4 packages, and each of them is updated once in a while. It's infrequently, sometimes it's infrequently, sometimes it's frequently. I have to follow all the time. And how do I know about new package? Well, I go to the source, I go to the website, I go to GitHub, and I check manually. It's a manually tedious process. But if there would be a blockchain message bus that could say, hey, there's a new software coming, new source code, please compile it, please build the package. I would know it, and I don't even need to interfere unless something serious happened. And the project would just build itself and write the results and then deliver the results to the blockchain. So then the other developers can do the same, and they could also use this code to ship the results binaries to the endpoints. So basically, this would be a general whole source of truth for the packages. So basically, this would be, if you know what a repository is with the software. So let's say Arch Linux have Arch software, Windows has Windows software, Mac has App Store, right? And Android has Play Market, and so on. All these repositories, they're all silos. And silos are a problem. Everybody speaks about silos. Oh, everything is so silenced, it's so separated. So let's combine it. How do we combine it? So we take these silos and we connect them through blockchain. And it will be the same blockchain, and then we can send messages between these silos through our blockchain system, marking the packages as good, bad, or doing any comments about them. Let's say one package works on Fedora, but it does not work on Windows. Why it's broken? Or the other way around, it works on Windows, but it does not work on Ubuntu. Why is that? Let's figure it out, and we can do it easily with our solution. All right, so what I propose, this is just, again, this is very draft, this is just 2 weeks old, but this is like the system that I would like suggest or propose as a marking system. So we have in blockchain, we have one number, just one number here. So 0 to 5, that's it. And with this number will correspond to color, and the color corresponds to status or status. So green is safe, that's pretty, I guess, obvious. Yellow, it could be fine, but it could be a very alpha or beta software with some bugs. Red, it's a dangerous package, might be broken, might have a virus or worm or something, serious error that can kill your hardware or something. Gray will mean that the package is outdated. This is also very important, by the way. Like if you go to packages.org website, it's a very useful website, but you can see, like, let's say MTR, like a network trace route. Last year updated, like 2023 or 2021, so a couple of years ago, it was updated, but in Ubuntu repos, it's so fresh, and Fedora is fresh, and Arch is fresh, but like in Void Linux, it's so old, or somewhere else it's old. Why is it old? Nobody updated it, and if I'm gonna install it in Void, I will not know that there is a newer version, and I have no ways to build it unless I'm a developer or package maintainer. So then I could at least have a status that maybe there should be extra status actually saying the package is outdated, but somewhere different versions exist. And then we could find a way to solve the situation. Okay, so violet would mean that the package is unavailable, maybe the target is unavailable or the source is unavailable. And then the blue status is like something highly recommended. So let's say we have a green package and then 10 users actually wrote a comment that this is awesome software, you should use it. Let's say OBS, or OBS is probably a horrible example. Let's say MTR. MTR is awesome software, it works. And let's vote on it, let's upvote it, and let maybe pay some crypto to the developer and mark it as blue. So yes, this is the concept. Monetization, we have to work a bit on monetization. We haven't finalized the ideas for this. But in general, we have our developers that have no money. So how do we fix that? We give them money. How do we do that? Well, as we have in the future, we hope to have our own blockchain that could emit the tokens. So we could emit the tokens per package basis, and then we can actually make like the total pie, the total emission of tokens, we can split it between the packages that got upvoted. So if one particular package gets a lot of votes, it gets a little bit more of the pie share, so to say. Then, not only developers are struggling without money, but also package maintainers. Like as an Arch package maintainer, I also build packages for Ubuntu and Fedora a couple of times, and for other platforms, for Windows and other platforms, and I never get paid for it. Never, ever. And I think it's horrible, because every time I run compilation through my software, I see how my CPU struggles. It's heating, it's eating the energy, sometimes it fails, you have to run it again. So it eats energy, and it's very inefficient and unecological. So if I successfully build a package, everybody should know about it, and I should be awarded for that. So that's the mechanism to do that. So that's like solving my own pain that I had for a long time. I guess that's a good point, and I validated as well with a couple of users. You will see the demo later. So basically the amount, yes, you can, we plan to think it through how we would emit the tokens, how many, and so on and so forth, and make like a tokenomics white paper, and then we will share it, so you can guys check it out later. Of course, I already mentioned the possibility to comment or donate. That's pretty obvious, that will work. How we think this will work is that originally developer will have to pay transfer fee to initiate the transfer in the blockchain, but this commission will be very, very low, probably less than a cent or maybe around 1 cent. So if I build a package, I'll have to like pay 1 cent forwards. But then when people install the software and they upvote for the software, they basically put their own coins in there, or they either put their own coins or they put my share of a new emitted tokens towards me, basically like the redelegation, like this mechanism that you explained, similar to that. So, and then I, as a builder or as a developer, I get the tokens back, and I get actually more than I invested in this original transaction. And this also incentivized me to build a good software, because I first tested, and then when I verified it, I push it to the blockchain. Okay, so basically that could also help, of course, to connect with enterprises to work together on this project, and we will see how we can make integrations and support for that. Yeah, and basically the project itself, we could see if we need some extra monetization, we could make like an ICO or TGE or selling shares or selling shares or something like that. So how that's gonna work, like this is very top level example. I will give a little bit more deep example further. But basically, we have our source code and our developer sitting in his machine and working hard day and night to build a package. So he concluded building a package, and then he says, hey, BBPM, could you please build a package for me? Or actually not build a package, but like announce the build. So announcement happens. So it says here, uplink example. So we trigger our building process, and then our BBPM takes the source code and makes some sort of hash. This hash got pushed to the blockchain, and this is where we might need some money. It depends on the blockchain. Some blockchains are free. Some blockchains might need some transaction fee in here, but basically then we put it to the blockchain node. Blockchain checks our transaction and puts it in the blockchain. That's great. Now, what else? So basically, after we started this process, we know that we have a record about our source code, but we don't have a package yet. So what do? When we have this record, we start the build process. So basically, BBPM says, hey, Pacman, and Pacman is a standard, or actually not, Pacman is a bad example, make package. Make package is an Arch Linux builder, or any other package builder I'll show you forwards. Could you please start the build process for this package? And package, right now, package builders already have functionality and automation to do that. So we don't need to write it. It's already exists, so we just start the build process using the tools that exist. And then these tools, when they return a good status, they have a successfully built package. If they return a bad status, I guess we can change something and rerun. But then eventually we have a working package, and we see that we have a working package, so we can actually hash it again, put it to the blockchain again. So now what we have in blockchain is 1, 2 records of start of the build process with the source code, link, and hash, and then we have a result of the basically hash of the build package. So we can connect the source code to the binary. And I don't know any other actually project like that. So like GitHub or Git actually, or other version controlling systems, they don't have this functionality as far as I know. And this is kind of strange because I think this should be implemented on their level, but regardless. So let's say I am as a user, I want to install a particular package on my phone or on my laptop or on my desktop, on my server, whatever. So downstream example, user side. So user says, okay, BBPM, I would like to have MTR as given example, right? My trace route, awesome package, you should use it. So our BBPM basically goes to the blockchain, or actually it goes to the node that we already know from before, and we ask, hey, do you have this package? And the node checks and it says, yes, we have MTR package. This is the hash of the source code. This is the hash of the binary. So then we can actually tell this process was successful, and the package, if the package was marked as green, we can actually say it's safe to proceed. And this part is already exists. Again, we don't have to write anything. We just give everything, give the rights or permissions to continue to the Pacman, if it's Arch Linux, to DNF in Fedora or to dead apt and Debian and so on and so forth. And then the package manager install the package and we have a package, user have a package. So that's great, and we know that package is safe. And of course, as a blockchain, as a message bus, then we can see, okay, if the package was bad, like mark thread, we can stop here, right? We stop at this step and we say to the user, sorry, this package marked is bad because it has a virus or is harmful for your hardware or something else. And then we stop at this point and then user can decide what to do next. Okay, so what I did, I had this idea concluded in my mind to some extent. And then I decided to do like a competition, right, or of sorts. So I told about this project to a couple of people. Actually, it was 3 developers. It actually was 2 developers because I shouldn't count myself, right? So, and I just told this idea, and I told, let's try to build something that we can prove works or not, doesn't work. So I tried to use Hedera blockchain and Golang. Hedera blockchain is very cheap, and you can use the testnet, of course. So actually, I was able to write the hash and the status of the package to the blockchain. It's very easy, and it works. But then I stopped because I've seen that I didn't have the time at that point because it was also Innovation Week, and also I've seen that 2 other developers, they are actually doing quite well. So Nikita made a Bash automated sample that actually builds the package. So he did like a couple of parts of the package management work. So basically that generates the hash. But then Lucas also showed me his demo. He actually recorded a video that I will show you soon. And basically, what he did, he used Node.js, Git, and IOTA. He used IOTA blockchain, or yeah, you said it's DAG, but let's call it blockchain for simplicity. Basically, it can write status to the blockchain. It can fetch and install the package. It can also mark a bad package, and it also allows for status changes. So basically, all the functionality, almost like all the basic functionality that I wanted, was in this demo. So yeah, I decided that, Lucas, I hope you are watching. So this is his slides actually that he provided together with his solution. And I think this is awesome because this is very clear. What does it do? So basically, this is our package manager. And in case of we want to submit a package, then we get some extra data, we get some source code, and in case of we are building an Arch package, right? So we have the same concept. We have like a binary hash, we have a source code hash, and then we send it to IOTA blockchain, basically with some of extra metadata. And then here we get the block ID back, and block ID is like IOTA concept. Almost all blockchains have a block ID. We send it here. And then what extra step that I was not thinking a bit ahead, that we actually add a commit where we say the version of the software, the name of the package, and the block ID. So then we can connect these dots between. Now, let's say we want to install the package. So what this procedure does is that it goes to the Arch repo, downloads package sources, extracts, and computes the hash locally. So we find the public maintainer key, and we clone the repo. So then we can actually check the commit that we made, and we can verify the package. And then, of course, if so we check, we compare the local and downloaded versions, and or actually hashes, not the packages, but hashes of them. We compare them, and if they are matching, then we know that it was not fiddled with. So else the package gets prohibited, but if it's not, a user can continue to install the program, and the program is installed using Pacman in this case. So package status update, it's a very simple thing because we don't need to do anything extra. So we just tell IOTA blockchain, hey, we know the software is bad, we have this key, please update the information about this package, and it just adds extra information to the blockchain about this package, and we get extra new IOTA block ID back. So let's see if we can pull out this demo just quickly. Yeah, I have it somewhere prepared, of course. Or we can probably get it just from the, yeah, give me a second. From him, directly from the chat, which is, no. You'll see all my Telegram chats. All right, here. So we have a source code already. We have documentation that I just shown you, and we have a video in here. So basically, is it playing? Yes, it is playing. All right, so on the top you can see that it might be a bit quick, but we basically submit the package build, which with the name of BPM test version 1. So it does the packaging, done packaging the source code, and then basically we create the block and send it to IOTA. Here is the block ID. And yeah, so it's generating the commit to our repo and pushing the commit, and it is done. So now we can check in the blockchain that this package actually have been written, and this is our PGP signature. This is the version of the package and the status, and yeah. So all the data that we can put any extra information. This is just a small demo to show you how that works. Now we go to the build directory, and we see that we have a package in there. So what we do next? We do bbpm install the package that we just have built successfully. So what it does, it is checking the binaries, and it's already checked, and the status, yeah, it was quite quick, but it checked status and then installed the package basically. So we've seen that it is all right, and we are, now we can actually check the status, and we're gonna say 1 is a bad status actually. So here we set it to prohibited, so we can choose the status, and we enter the passphrase to our key. And so now we generated a new signature, and we are sending information to the block, and we can check it in the Explorer once again in there, and there is a data. So yes, status 1. So we put the status 1, as you remember, it's status 1 is red. So now let's try to install this package. So we do it again, bbpm install bbpm test. And we're trying, and here you go. Could not install package, reason the package is marked as prohibited. So this is the way we know that that was something problematic, and the developer could mark it and unmark it as he goes, as let's say his account got hacked or something. So let's update the status as recommended now again, or highly recommended, I guess. Yeah, highly recommended. So the same, we enter our passphrase to our key, and we do the same. We just create an IOTA block. And there it is. IOTA is quite fast, and also it's free, so awesome tool. Try to use it, it's fun. And here we have our data, and we have a new status, which is 5. That's the demo. That's how it works already. And the source code is already published, actually. So you could use it, you could try it out, improve. There is no API yet, but we hope to add it. So let's continue with our presentation. This is just overview of list of tools we would like to support. And as you can understand, this is pretty much of different operating system. I actually forgot Android and iOS, but I guess for iOS it's going to be very complicated because there is no external ways to push the package. But for Android it should be possible. The Google also now locks down a lot of stuff. But at least these OSs should be working. And these package managers exist, so these are like the most popular, I guess. So in this example, we used Pacman, but with the same way, we can use any other package manager. And the best thing is that we could have a package for each OS, and we can sign it, and we can have this information about each package. And we can actually have a history of what was happening to the package as well. So it's like a Git, but instead of in Git, you only have the code status. But what about the status of the package? How many times it got hacked and it got virus in the code? How many times it got to the good result, to the blue status? Is the developer good? How would we know it? So parsing the history in the blockchain, we can see, okay, this package have been 4, now it's 5, and then it's 5 again. So we can trust this package, right? Then we can install it. So it's actually a cool thing, like an extra metadata about the package. So these are just the example of the tools that we can easily integrate with, and we are going to try to integrate with something else than Pacman. I mean, Pacman, I think, is one of the best content delivery, or not well, yeah, it is a content. So content delivery systems, package delivery system. But other than Pacman, I think we will also focus on Nix Package or Nix Package, which is a very popular Nix OS based package manager, and it's very popular in enterprise. So we want to show the enterprise that there could be something done about security of package delivery, and this is the way actually to trust your source when the source comes from the third party, because usually, like in my company, in MasterCard, we cannot easily trust the source that is coming from the third party, or if you have to trust the source coming from the third party, you have to go through a long security clearance, which is going to be long and tedious and heavy process for all the gears in the system, basically. All right, so who do we need to continue developing this project? Well, basically everyone. So we want you guys to test it out. We, of course, need some marketing. We need improve a bit on the documentation. We already did this demo, and we have a GitHub repo, but we will, of course, build documentation about how it works, about we haven't finalized everything about this project, so it's still in a little bit flexible idea, but anyway, we would need some investments to support our team for our teamwork. That has been volunteer work, and I guess it will be volunteer work for a couple of weeks forwards, but then it would be nice if we get some support. Basically then also we need more developers who basically want to collaborate with us in one way or the other. Also the package maintainers and suppliers of upstream software. All right. So possible customers for our project would be, of course, it's all you guys, hopefully. So any user that want to verify that the package was safe and good and you want to install it, then you can have a general idea about safety of the package, not just like a Arch repo verification, internal verification, or Debian repo verification, or Windows chocolatey repo verification, which we can trust to some extent, but what if it's get hacked? And then we have external system on top of all these systems that can have a status about it, so that would be great. Then of course we have possible customers of developers themselves. They would need this tool. I think they would love this tool. We also have a great customer of enterprise that probably would love this tool, and of course package maintainers would love this tool. That is 100%, I can tell you, as a package maintainer, and security conscious people will love it, and just general people excited about tech. I was also thinking to add people excited about crypto, like if I want to invest in this project and just hold the tokens, could be also a possible customer as well. So these are just a couple of links. So this is the source code repo that is accessible in there. There is some links to different package managers if you want to see them or help us connect them. This is the link to awesome website that we would like to replace this website, or actually not replace, maybe to improve on this website. The packages.org is like a general all-around Linux general source of the information about packages, but it's not blockchain-based. So you can trust it, you can use it, it's cool, but it does not have blockchain connection. So we do something similar, but we also make it on blockchain. Then we have other package managers, their documentation. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not, but yes, did we explore the market? Is there something? Yes, I actually did Google this, like how I had the idea and the title of this, and you can actually Google it yourself. And I found a scientific paper, which I was surprised about, from like 3-4 years ago. Some Turkish company, or not company, but I guess a research institute or some Turkish people get together, and they was having a similar concept, but not quite similar. So what they did is they took the build packages, and they put the builded packages to the IPFS. And this is awesome, this is super cool. IPFS is distributed storage where you can put the files in, and this is super cool, but this is not something we're making, right? Because we don't store the packages. We provide the tooling for those who store the packages. In the future, we might have a connector that allows us to push the build packages to IPFS, but also to S3 or FTP or any other service you would like, even through SSH. But for now, we just give it to the package maintainers how they want to do it. So actually, these Turkish guys, they build this Milis Linux. And yes, so this is not quite our competitor, but it's close enough. And then we have like indirect competitors, which are all the package managers I already mentioned, but I don't know if you can call them competitors if they are actually something you build on top of. Probably not. So instead of actually having to compete, we plan to create as many API integrations as possible to provide our package building and verification service. So that is the idea. So other than that, I have seen no results. So I have not seen solutions. Maybe they exist. Maybe they're like proprietary, hidden somewhere in the back office of Nokia or something. I do not know. But I have not seen a public solution. So that's what we are doing. So further down the road, what this project will be in the future, what I see in the future. So first of all, we do this 10 or 20 most popular packaging tools, because then we have different operating systems, we have different tools, we want to verify our packages, so let's do it. This is the task number 1. So other than Pacman, add 9 more, 10 more, 20 more. Then we would also like to be able to choose from blockchains, because we've seen that Nano blockchain, IOTA blockchain, a Hedera blockchain, a lot of different things, they are actually very accessible. And then let's say some developer don't give a shit about actually having to pay more, but he wants total security. So he says, I want to pay to publish it to blockchain of the Bitcoin blockchain and Ethereum blockchain. He can do that. So then we would need basically to multi-chain connection. So that's how we can make a bridge to several blockchains, and we can actually push the changes to several. So then we can re-verify in different blockchains the statuses, because there are so many blockchains we can use. Okay, so what else? So further down the road, we can also use it in a monitoring or like a resident or daemon or service mode, which would allow auto scheduling. So you can have your regular updates automatically verified, checked, installed, and deployed to your end nodes, which is super useful for IoT, because IoT is like some sensors putting somewhere on the towers very far away in the Iceland or in the Nordics, and nobody wants to climb this tower to change the sensor. And what do we do if it has a broken software? How do we deliver the software? So we shouldn't, of course, deliver the broken software in the first place, but how do we verify that the software is broken? So our system could be used to verify the software and maybe redeliver the software if we needed to. So then also, as I mentioned, connecting to cloud storage or data storage or local clouds, so IPFS, Filecoin, I don't know, something else. And of course, a very important part is API and integrations, which we need to do. Although we don't really have to because we're open source, but it would be still easier for people to use it if we have external API. So what is an API? So basically API is like a connection or external connection. So basically we wanted to provide several modules, and I have 3 examples here that can be like shown in a simple way, or I guess if you're a developer, a couple of these examples will be for normal people, a couple of these examples will be for developer. So let's say, see example 1, I want a PostgreSQL database, a load balancer with 2 Nginx hosts on Alpine Linux. So you see it's kind of like a Docker container, right? But in a Docker container, we don't have a control over quality. We just trust the uplink for whatever we have there. And also we need to know the Docker like a syntax, which is a bit harder than this text, right? So, okay, this would be example 1. What else? Another module that could use our API is AI module. So let's say we have an AI voice assistant, and then we say to this assistant, I have this hardware here. I don't know what this hardware is, but I have this hardware here. Please build me a tailored gaming OS with Steam, or build me an enterprise level software to control, I don't know, pumping of air into the building or whatever. And it can do it because it has all the packages it needs, which are also verified. So it can do it based on that. What else? A control module. So let's see the example. We need to verify that all of our production systems are up and running at all times. If something is wrong, automatically fix, rebuild, and redeploy. Right now, the system exists to some extent, although in large companies, it's mainly used for automating partial automation. So if you would say, like now it's in software, it's like that. So let's see, you have a factory that produces bottles. And it produces bottles, and then it puts it puts Coke in the bottles, right? So ideally, you want to input Coke syrup, water, and plastic probes. You know, this plastic probes that they used. And then in the exit, you want the pellets with your product, and you don't want people to touch it. But how it's right now in software, inside of this building that should be isolated from the people, actually there's 5 people which are staying near the red, like large red bottoms, and they look for manually for the broken bottles, which are every hour, and they stop the line. Then there's other people who look for the broken boxes and for contamination of the syrup or I don't know what, and they stop the process every time, and they have to restart from scratch. They have to lose a lot of money and a lot of time. So we want to remove this, and to remove this we need to have like a streamlined process of package delivery, and for this we need this system. So that would eliminate all the engineers from inside of this building, and that would let us actually let the building do its own, or the factory do its own factory things as a black box for us, and we get an end product in the result. And world is moving this way, so we will get eventually, but we don't have a common bus, message bus, that can deliver us safe packages and safe parts of the system, right? So speaking about team, right now we are 6 people, I suppose, and we also consider to grow. You can see Artyom here in the audience, and our other participants, they are remote. Maybe they're watching us, we will see. And yeah, so these are developers, marketing people, and promoting, and other nice people that hopefully will help our project to grow. But as I said, it's very, very new. So we are excited to invite more of you to join and work on this project. So I guess that's all. And thanks everybody in my team in remote and local. Thanks you all guys for handling this and letting me make this presentation about our project. Thank you. All right. So I guess that was it. That was all the presentations. So please don't run away, at least just yet. So I will conclude the stream. And yes, before that, that's great. Actually, we should do the question section. Is there any questions? I guess you have a question.
Nobody else? First one, I want to say that Lucas is awesome.
Oh yeah, and Lucas is awesome, and he get the concept of the idea and improved on it, and yeah, I totally agree with you.
Yeah, amazing. And first question is, did you hear about Gosh?
Gosh?
Yeah, they
no.
First they tried to, you know, I don't know how it called, like give economy to GitHub.
Okay.
Yeah, and right now they create
pivoted.
Yeah, some steps of pivoted, and it sounds like system. They already have similar system.
Mm-hmm.
What you want in PBPM.
BBPM, yes, you have to. That's why I was saying the naming maybe is a bit off.
Yeah. Okay, just try to see Gosh. And second one,
yep.
I find a very nice blockchain for your project.
Okay.
It's the cheapest one and fastest, and you like it. You really like it. It's
okay.
Mina. They have only 22 kilobytes of blockchain. Totally.
Yeah. I think I've seen it.
And always 22 kilobytes.
Yeah. So it's a good IoT.
Yeah. And they have ZK proofs, and you know every proofs right in this 22 kilobytes, and we can do all proofs of all our system of world.
Yeah. We can basically prove the world.
In Mina, and it's very nice for your project. You know.
Okay, so you have 2 suggestions about possible basis of frameworks that could work better than IOTA.
Yeah,
all right.
And I don't know which question can be, because everything clear, and it's very nice project, and I hope you find market fit and create it to people.
Yeah. That's probably the hardest part, because we already did some preliminary analysis, and we see interest from people, and we see interest from investors. But
you already have Lucas.
and we already have Lucas, yes. But we need to market it and see how we can promote it and who will be the first users. That's what we need to do. Yes.
Yeah. Good luck.
Thank you. Other questions?
Is dependency, package dependencies will be your headache?
That's a great question. We have not yet decided, but the thing with dependencies is that right now they are solved by the package managers themselves.
Right.
Package manager software, the software. And we most likely not gonna touch dependencies so far, but if we're gonna deploy a bare bone package in the future, we might need internal dependency check utility. I don't know how it's going to work. Maybe we will borrow the code from somewhere. Maybe we will not do the dependency management. Maybe we would use external dependency manager tool. But this is a question to discuss, and yeah, probably offline. That's what we're going to discuss.
And another one, like I'm super dumb with the system, with blockchain and everything.
Yeah.
Like, so as a user of BBPM, how it will be, like how much I pay, how I pay for that. For example, I want to update my system, okay?
Ideally,
like 1,000 packages.
Yeah. Ideally, you don't pay. Or you pay once per transaction whenever you apply to the blockchain. So when you parse the blockchain, it doesn't cost you anything normally, with some extra rare exclusions. But yes, as a developer, you probably will have to pay the transactions fees. But again, it depends on the blockchain. So I think we will have free blockchains where people can post for free, but these blockchains are a little bit less reliable, maybe less well known. And then we have a paid blockchains where people still can write the signatures too, but they will have to pay for the transaction fee. But again, if they are writing to the paid blockchains, they could get awards from the blockchain, from emission of new tokens, or from donations, and so on and so forth. So you can pay 1 cent to update your package, and then get $2 back because user installed your package, you know, for one particular version, let's say. So something like that.
Thanks.
Yeah. Any more questions? No? All right. Great. Okay. So then we will conclude. Thank you all for coming. I hope this was diversified enough diversified topics of different kinds, and we will try to proceed with this. We will invite more different speakers to talk about interesting projects in the future. And as I told you, the next one will probably be in the end of October. So you are all welcome to the next session, and we will announce our new speakers. And you can be in the speaker list if you have a topic to speak. Just talk to me, and we can make this work. All right. Thanks again. And yep. See you in the networking. That's what I was going to say. We will move to the bar for the networking after we end the stream. And if you have time, half an hour or an hour to stay for the networking, please do. All right.